Hi everyone, this is Mei-Xin.
And I'm Anthony P. For the fifth and final time, welcome to this video brought to you by the Center for Academic Literacy here at NTNU.
We are finally close to the end. For this final video on the final section of an academic paper, we are going to go to the discussion and conclusion section of your academic paper.
Wait a minute. You said discussion and conclusion? Does that mean that they're one section? I seem to have seen the discussion and conclusion being two separate sections.
You are absolutely right. The conventions in different fields differ, so it's common to see these two sections combined in one field but separate in others. If you're unsure, check out some papers and journals in your field to see what the norm is.
Got it. For our video, let's discuss these two sections together, as they both deal with the question, what have we learned?
It's like the moral of the story that comes with children's tales, which, surprise, surprise, Detective Surelock is well versed in. Hey Whatson, I've written an article on Little Red Driving Hood for the police to use in their public education campaign.
Oh yeah, I remember. It's the one with the little girl who almost got kidnapped by a stranger pretending to be her grandmother.
That's right. Fortunately, the police arrived in the nick of time before the girl got into the stranger's car.
Let's see what you've got here. Okay, nice work, nice work. I like the storytelling. These lines are really clever. Little Red Driving Hood. What a big car you have, grandmother. The baddie. The better to kidnap you with.
Clever is right. This is one of my best work. Do you think I'll win a Booker Prize for this article?
Whoa. I gotta stop you there. This manuscript still needs a lot of polishing.
What is it this time?
Well, you are getting better at describing the process and results, but what about the discussion of what this story means? What can we learn from this story?
I don't know. The girl is not very clever?
No. Try again and be kinder.
Okay, she needs new glasses?
No. I was thinking you might talk more about stranger danger to remind kids to be vigilant when interacting with strangers.
Yada. Trust Whatson to be a killjoy. Oh well, I trust that you can help me write that part of the article. After all, what a big brain you have, Whatson.
The better to manage you with, Sherlock. Come on, let's get to it and make this story one that the readers would wolf down.
If we learn one thing or two from fables, it should be that good stories have clear messages for the reader.
Academic writing is more similar to fables than you might think.
Earlier, we mentioned that a well-written discussion and conclusion section tells the readers the moral of the story.
Let's take a step back and think about why this is important.
The why. Why do we have to discuss the findings? When you discuss and wrap up your findings, you're connecting your study to the broader context.
Your analysis also shows your unique take on a given issue, which could be a new perspective that no one else has thought of. So, this could be your invaluable contribution to advance your field.
We know all this still sounds rather abstract. Let's break it down in more concrete terms.
In the next section, we're going to draw parallels between the essential elements of the discussion and conclusion section with a theoretical play.
The what? Essential elements of the discussion and conclusion. Just like a grand play, months of effort have gone in to make your paper a success. And this is your chance to make a splash on academic Broadway.
Here are the elements of the discussion and conclusion section.
First, we present a summary of the key elements before going into an explanation of each. 1. Script, key results. 2. Backdrop, context and explanations. 3. Characters, literature comparisons. 4. Makeup and hair, contributions and/or implications. 5. Sound and lighting, limitations. And 6, curtain call, directions for future studies.
Number 1, the script. Key results. The key results are like the script because there is no play without a script. Similarly, there can be no discussion without data.
In the discussion section, you can begin by helping the readers recall the key results of your study.
Number 2, the backdrop, context and explanations. Next, the context of a study is like the setting of a play. Here, you can talk about things such as demographic variables, participants' backgrounds, and other relevant factors.
In short, how is it different from other studies? What's unique about it?
Number 3, the characters, literature comparisons.
Different studies are like different characters in a play.
Typically, characters respond to what other characters have said to move the conversation along, creating more meaning as they continually build upon each other's ideas.
Literature comparisons are very similar in that you can examine how your findings relate to existing research.
By putting your study in conversation with existing knowledge, you are allowing the studies to converse with one another and subsequently expand what is known about a particular field.
Number 4, makeup and hair, contributions and/or implications.
Now that we have gotten to the main playout, let's move on to the final touches.
You can now discuss the theoretical contributions of your study.
You may also discuss the practical applications of the obtained findings and their potential impact on the relevant industry or society.
Highlighting the contributions and implications of your study is like how makeup and hair artists play up the best features of the actors.
That's why, in this section, you should aim to blend, contour, and highlight the best parts of your study and braid them together in a glamorous getup.
Here's an example of a possible implication of the experiment.
The findings of the study can inform the policies and manufacturing choices of the cat product industry.
If a vendor is designing cat sofas, beds, or simply boxes for cats to rest in, they now know that it's unwise to make boxes that are too big.
Number 5, sound and lighting. Limitations.
Of course, no study is perfect, even if the participants are.
After singing your own praises in the contributions and implications segment, you should also identify the limitations of your study and note the impact on validity.
As you carry out your study, you must have made certain decisions to focus on certain items.
This is like how, during a play, the technical team uses lighting and sound effects to draw the audience's attention to just one part of the stage or story. Here's an example from our experiment.
The experiment was conducted in a controlled lab setting. Hence, the results derived might not be generalizable to the general population in a natural setting.
Number 6, curtain call, directions for future studies.
For the curtain call of your paper, which is the final part, you can discuss some directions for future studies.
Very often, directions for future studies are built upon the limitations you just discussed.
This means you can suggest future studies that specifically tackle the limitations of your study.
In the experiment, the limitations could be written this way. Future studies could be conducted using different box shapes.
In the experiment, all the boxes were four-sided. What if the participants were presented with boxes in different shapes, such as round, oval, rectangular, triangular, or even odd-shaped?
If you've gotten to this point, congratulations. The end is in sight.
To help you wrap up your paper with a bang, here's a quick recap of the key elements of the discussion and conclusion section.
Start your discussion with a recap of your key results.
Remind readers of the context of your study and explain the key results based on evidence.
Compare your findings against similar studies.
Talk about your contributions and/or implications to the field.
Discuss some of the limitations you faced.
End it off with some suggested directions for future studies.
As usual, we hope that you find not just these tips, but all the other tips we've shared in our videos useful for your academic writing tasks.
For more details and examples, grab a copy of our book, Crack the Case, Not Your Head, a beginner's guide to solving your thesis puzzle. It's a lot more informative than these videos, we promise.
Thank you for being on this journey with us as we took you through the 5 main sections of an academic paper. We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.
This is Anthony and Mei-Xin, your friendly writing buddies at the Center for Academic Literacy at NTNU. Signing off.